Hey, this is CJ the Traveling Man. We are here in Lyles Station, Indiana. It's an unincorporated community in Patoka Township, Gibson County, Indiana. We're walking to the Lyles Station school, and I just thought I'd let you know we're gonna go on inside, give you a little tour, which this was established in 1922. So we're walking towards the school. So I want y'all to just sit back, watch, and enjoy the show.
How you guys doing? I'm D'Anthony Jamerson. I'm definitely a descendant from here in Lyles Station. As you can see, I'm repping today. Got the Greer Farms. We've been here since the early 1800s. If you check the back of my shirt out, it'll let you know.
Y'all see that?
We've been farming here since the early 1855. We've been honored by the African American Smithsonian for still being able to farm our family's land. And like I said, that land's been in our family since 1855. And we're just going to talk a little bit more about Lyles Station, so we can go on. Come on up. This here is just pretty much just some cool artifacts. This talks about the land of Lyles Station, some of these rocks and pebbles and things like that, the arrowheads. These are just from the area pretty much. Shows like Indians were basically here a long time ago. And this here is actually a list of some of the names and some of the fellas that went and fought in the Civil War from this area, from here in Lyles Station, or basically in the Gibson County area. Like I said, this pretty much shows a lot of the names of the people that went and where they went to fight at, pretty much in the infantry that they joined. So I think this is pretty awesome. It shows, like, even though these guys were, you know, freed from slavery, they was brave enough to go fight for the cause.
Hey, this is CJ the Traveling Man. We're going into the principal's office, and
that had been Joseph Lucas's office there. He was able to, they say they would be able to see him looking out at them at recess, and they knew if they got out of line, they was in trouble. He was a man that played no games.
We're checking out another area while we're here in Lyles Station.
So like I said, this was been basically a makeup of the layout of how Lyles Station was. Down here would have been a Roundtree settlement. Richard Roundtree was actually known to be one of the first African Americans to win a civil lawsuit against the state in Indiana. The first, like I said, the first African American, and it was for this black bridge here. They actually closed it down, and he took it to the Supreme Court about, you know, getting this bridge put back together, because this was, like I said, it was called Black Bridge, so that was the only bridge that allowed them to be able to make it in the town. And like I said, he took it to the Supreme Court and ended up winning. So he's known to be one of the first African Americans to win a Supreme Court case. So it was basically donated by the Smithsonian. Like, these items are from Lyles Station, but like the design of how they're set up there on the wall is from the Smithsonian. This dirt here is actually the dirt that is my family's dirt here. They have a duplicate in Washington, D.C.
That is cool, yeah.
Saddles here were from soldiers in World War I and II, I believe, that made it back. And I mean, they were pretty much donated by families. This is actually my grandfather right here, farmer. Like I said, they farm cantaloupes, watermelons, sweet corn, beans, the whole nine. These are just different items. That's a loom there, so that's what they use to make clothing and quilts and things like that. This is a clipper here, so this would basically de-seed your crop. So whenever you would take a crop to get your seeds from it, this would be what you would use. These different shades here would basically be for the different items that you would have, like either corn, beans, Here's an example here. This is some alfalfa seed. This is basically hay. This is what you would feed your horses. So, like I said, this would basically de-seed your crops for you. The state of Indiana, there were 17 other settlements just like Lyles Station. As you can see, they was all over the state. They're about like Lyles Station now. They're pretty much dwindled down in population. They either have like a school or, like I said, a church or something that resonate that they was there at some point in time, so people can recognize it. That the Underground Railroad actually came through, and Lyles Station was a part of the Underground Railroad of some sorts. There were known names, William Steele, and I believe his name is Charles Greer. This guy here, he helped and aided in helping freeing slaves get to Canada and up north as far as Michigan and to other free states.
We're checking out another location right over here. We're still in the same room, but I just thought I'd let you know, that we're still learning a lot more about the Lyles Station. So I'm gonna hand it off to him.
All right, so like these are just pretty much family of the Nalcoxes that were from Lyles Station. This is, I believe, 2 brothers, if I'm not mistaken. These are 2 brothers, and they're 2 different families. But as you can see, they was pretty nice sized families. And in this picture here, we actually have, some 2 Hall of Famers, as I like to call them. Maddox here. He was known to be the first African American principal at Christmas Addicts High School in Indianapolis. Little fun fact: Oscar Robertson went to school there.
That's cool.
Hester Greer, she was a missionary. She went and spread the gospel all over the world. As they said, she built churches in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands and things of that sort. And like I said, she just was a woman of God pretty much. And at that time, a woman minister was definitely not really ideal. They didn't look at women ministry as being something that was of God at that time. They thought the man was supposed to be the head, and that's how they kind of took it as.
We're getting ready to head into the Lyles Station Hall of Fame, so y'all sit back, listen, and learn.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, we'll start right over here with Mr. Lyman Parks. He started his career out basically going to school, went for ministry, went into the ministry at a young age, moved up to Michigan, pretty much started a few churches up there, and in the midst of all that, ended up becoming the first black mayor of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Later on became the envoy for President General Ford, and pretty much ended his career in the White House, so to say. That's just some little fun facts about Mr. Lyman Parks there. This guy down here, Mr. Aaron Richard Fisher, he is known to be one of the most decorated World War I veterans. The story is that he did get injured on his post, but he still manned it and was able to make it back home. We're actually going to be honoring him this September. We're actually having our 20-year celebration this year in September, and the state's going to come down and basically show appreciation to what he did. He was actually, him and his brother, they're twins. These are the grandsons of Joshua Lyles, who Lyles Station is named after. In particular, Carlisle, he was a very educated man. He got his degree at several different universities. He started off at Indiana University, got his master's at Indiana State, and he went on to teach school at Lincoln High School here in Princeton, and went on and taught at other high schools in Evansville like Wrights and Central. He retired as an assistant principal, and then later on was the director of the Adults Basic Education Program and was on the Vanderburg School Corporation as well.
We're back in another area, so I want you to sit back, listen, and enjoy the show.
All right, so this guy here, we have Mr. Alonzo Fields. I would say he's pretty much one of our most favorite Hall of Famers, in my words. He was known to be the head chef and head butler and chef at the Maitre d' Hotel at the White House. He served under 4 presidents: Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, and Eisenhower. The story was told when he first got to the White House. Miss Hoover did not necessarily approve of him. She didn't think that he would be a great fit in her kitchen. Just because he was tall in size and his frame was pretty big, she just didn't think that he would be a good fit. So when he caught wind of it, he actually threw a tea party in her honor. So he went and gathered all her friends. He asked them, who wanted to sit by who, how many lumps of sugar do you like in your tea. Basically planned this tea party out to a T. So by the time the tea party was over, Miss Hoover's friends were ranting and raving about how this was the best tea party they had ever been to, and how, detailed and how everything was just great, to where that pretty much solidified his job for him. And like he was in the White House for 21 years after that.
CJ, we're getting ready to come into the classroom. I'm gonna give y'all a visual of the classroom, and he's gonna give you a little background history on the classroom. So here we go.
Yep, so this would be necessarily our heritage classroom here. This is basically set up in the style that the classroom would have been set up in. So Lyles Station, it only has 3 or 4 classrooms in it, so a lot of the classrooms had multiple grades in it. So the way they would set it up, like this would be first graders this row, second graders this row, third graders, fourth graders, and that's pretty much how it would be set up. These are just some different little, like this is pretty cool, the rules for teachers in 1872. Just basically shows like the guy.
They got a stick.
So this is the real deal stick. So the story has been told that Joseph Lucas had a stick that could reach pretty much the back of the classroom. So whenever you got out of line or anything like that, he can get a hold of, get your attention real quick. And so these are actually some of the books of the students, that the students used when they went to school here. I think it's just funny. You got some of the kids' names in here. It's hard to see. I can see. I can't read that. I can see Greer there. I can't see the first name. You see Mr. Lucas. That's the principal's name there, but it says Lyles Station School. Miss Owens, that was the teacher, it looks like. But you see just some of the, this is what they would, use to basically, this looks like an English book here, so.
Yeah, it does.
This is what they would use to English. And that's what they taught here, the 3 R's, that's what they said, reading, writing, and arithmetic. So this would have been a math book here. We got some old notes in here, looks like. Somebody trying to do some math. But yeah.
Hey, this is CJ the Traveling Man. We're just giving you a visual of the church as well. So the church, to let you know, is part of the community. Hey, this is CJ the Traveling Man. We are getting ready to enter Sand Hill Cemetery, which is part of the Lyles Station community. So we're getting ready to head that way, and just hang on and we'll be right back. Yeah, we're just walking around the area. So as I tell you, beginning of this recording, we're gonna have more information. We're gonna have a lot more going on, a bigger show. So remember, Lyles Station, Indiana. There's a large black community. And I just want you to remember this. So get a glimpse. This is CJ the Traveling Man signing out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and tell a friend, because Lyles Station is live here in Indiana, or southern Indiana.